Wolves nearly disappeared in the U.S. by the 1940s. Ranchers saw them as a threat to their cattle and collected a bounty from the government to go after them. But in the mid-1990s, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service started to reintroduce gray wolves in parts of Idaho, looking to control deer and elk populations. The wolves eventually migrated west to Oregon, and ranchers losing livestock are up in arms once again. Last year, for the first time in its history, the state issued permits that lets them fight back.
Todd Nash has been a rancher for most of his adult life.
Get him out of there!
But it's only in the last decade that he's had to deal with his cows being massacred in his fields.
Mary. Around the 1st of March in 2007, right here on this little hill, and I found a calf that had been about 90% consumed.
The killers were gray wolves. During the last 7 years, Nash estimates he's lost more than 100 cows to wolf depredation, the legal term for kills made by a carnivore. Under Oregon law, the state reimburses Nash for cows killed by wolves. But Nash says the money doesn't cover his losses, which he says total about $50,000. And what he really wants isn't more compensation, it's more leeway to kill wolves.
In a lot of places, including Oregon, the presence of the wolf is the presence of the wild. Can you understand how that is so attractive to people?
Yeah, I think that there's something very visceral about hearing a wolf howl. You know, growing up and reading Jack London stories, and I had those same feelings, and I was the least bit concerned about wolves before they came here. It's different when it's your livestock being killed.
There are 4 legal avenues for killing a wolf in Northeast Oregon. If a wolf is caught in the act of attacking a cow, or if a wolf is attacking a human, it's permissible to shoot it. Oregon will also send its own hunters out if a rancher can gather evidence showing 2 cows have been lost to wolves. Then last summer, the state did something new, offering ranchers a special permit to hunt problem wolves themselves, as long as they could meet those same burdens of proof. It's the compromise the state has reached, killing fewer wolves than ranchers want, but more than conservationists think is necessary. Rob Clavins and Wally Sykes are Eastern Oregon environmentalists monitoring the woods for signs of wolves. They're afraid that with the special permits, Oregon is taking a step toward legalized wolf hunting.
This may be the last time we look at this camera until spring.
How much time is on that?
I think the last time, Wally, we checked these in October last, like mid-October, so it's been a while. So there's a good chance a lot of stuff has come by in the interim.
Humans, cars, it's nothing. Oh, now let's look here. Now what's
Go back.
this? That, gentlemen, correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a wolf.
That is a big wolf, man.
Clavins works for a group called Oregon Wild, which sued the state in 2015 after wolves were taken off Oregon's endangered species list. Oregon Wild has pushed the state to enforce its requirement that ranchers try non-lethal wolf deterrents before asking for permission to kill a wolf.
You know, Oregon is home to over 1.3 million cows. The last years we have statistics, over 55,000 died from things like weather, disease, domestic dogs, calving, human thieves. Wolves took this year and this year where there's so much conflict, a few dozen. The idea that it's this humongous threat, that just doesn't match the reality. I'm a small business owner. My wife and I have a small farm and bed and breakfast. If somebody came in and told us we have to do things differently, I'd be pretty resistant to it too. I totally understand that. But at the same time, if your business model depends on killing rare wildlife to turn a profit in the 21st century, that might be a flawed business model.
A 7-person commission appointed by Oregon's governor will vote on a new wolf plan this spring. The plan makes it a little harder to kill a wolf. A pack now has to kill 3 cows instead of the current standard of 2 before wolves can be shot. But the special permits stay. It's not that the people who live and work around cattle hate wolves, any more than they hate the weather that threatens their herds. They just see wolves as a problem that should be solved.
The state of Oregon is at a pretty critical juncture right now in terms of what's going to happen to wolves going forward. Living here, what do you want the rest of Oregon to do?
The wolves are an interesting thing and they're probably the most emotion-producing animal I've ever known of. My favorite saying is 180 degrees from crazy is still crazy. It doesn't make sense to kill them all. It doesn't make sense to let the wolves do whatever they want and try and live around them. They need to be controlled.
When you all hear in town the phrase, shoot, shoveled, and shut up when it comes to wolves.
You saw the sticker on the wall there?
Does that ring true, or is that a little too far? What's the judgment on that?
They're just saying if you're gonna be that stupid and you're gonna shoot one, well, make sure you take care of it properly so nobody knows about it. I'm sure those kinds of things happen because there is so much emotion about it, and it does affect people so significantly in certain places. That's just human nature, I think, to want to strike back, you know.